Well, here we are at the conclusion of the course, and I want to leave you with this wrap up video to kind of help you know the next steps to take. Well, first of all, if you've been through this entire course, it's pretty obvious by now that the 70 764 Administering a SQL Database Infrastructure Certification exam is going to cover an awful lot of information, functionalities, technologies. There's just a lot going on. Now, according to Microsoft, this exam is intended for database professionals who perform installation, maintenance, and configuration tasks. Now, that maintenance word there encompasses a lot of things from what we would normally know as maintenance of the server and the database, but also monitoring and a lot of other things. And you will see that stuff on your exam. Microsoft used to explicitly state that their exams were designed for people with approximately 2 years hands-on experience with the products. We don't see that anymore, but the tests certainly suggest that that's what they're looking for. Now, you may be thinking, but wait a minute, that's the reason I'm trying to become certified. I want to move into working with SQL databases, and I don't have 2 years hands-on. Well, not to worry, because anytime you're trying to prep for a successful exam, whether you have lots of hands-on with that particular product or not, there are two main ingredients. And I've basically structured the course and delivered it with these two main ingredients in mind. First of all and foremost, you must understand the technologies that are being applied. You need to understand how they work, the desired functionality they're going to provide once we implement them, then when to use them and under what conditions do we need those new technologies. And then finally, and just as important as understanding the technologies, you need to get hands-on experience. People ask me all the time. I get emails. Do I get enough information in this course just by itself to pass this exam? And I always respond back and say, well, that depends. Depends on how much hands-on experience you have. For most people, the answer is no. This course would have to last 200 or 300 hours to cover every topic to the depth and the level that you would need to be able to just close the video down and go take the exam and pass. There's just a lot of information here. What I have done and what you are getting and what you did get in this course is a good understanding of these various technologies, how to implement them, why we want to implement them, how to tweak them once we've implemented them, and that should kind of turn the light on and help you get more hands-on experience. Okay, trust me, the secret to passing this exam, once you've been through a course like this and you understand what Query Store does, what Always Encrypted does, what transparent data encryption is all about, what symmetric and asymmetric encryption is, all that sort of stuff. Once you understand that, now you can get hands-on experience, get those frustrating error messages, figure out why things work and why they don't. Trust me, you're just going to leave this exam thinking, wow, that was bizarrely easy compared to what I've heard everybody complain about. The question for most people, though, is, okay, so I've taken the course. Now, how do I know what to study to know that I'm ready for the exam? You need to go to www.microsoft.com and just search for 70 764. That's the Microsoft number of this particular exam. And you're going to be taken to a page and you're going to see a skills measured section about halfway down that page. Expand all those sections and read over that. I always like to print these out. Focus on the topics that as you read through that list, you are least familiar with. Now, we're going to cover a large majority of these. You've already learned about them in this particular course. Anything that we even went through in the course that you're still not really comfortable with, maybe there's other topics on there that you've never heard anything about, or you've heard about them, but you've not done a lot of hands-on, get hands-on with those. Learn at a comfortable pace. Don't schedule an exam for next Tuesday and then try to frantically stay up all night over the weekend to pass this exam. There's a lot of information here. And depending on your area of expertise, we all have different areas of expertise. We've all had different experiences out there in the real world. So depending on how your world is shaped, just go after the places that you're weak here and go at a comfortable pace. Don't ever attempt to cram or memorize for these exams. One last thing I want to make sure and tell you about. Make sure that all the documentation that you use outside of this course is produced or endorsed by Microsoft. Now, there's a lot of opinions out there about how databases should work, about how you should implement them, about how encryption should be managed, and all that sort of stuff. Make sure you're looking at either Microsoft official documentation or documentation or articles coming from one of Microsoft's MVPs or MCTs or somebody like that. Because when you're looking out there at stuff on the internet and different third-party books, in some cases, these people are working with these technologies in more of a heterogeneous environment. They're trying to make things kind of coalesce and work, and you'll see a lot of opinions out there from people who work on other database platforms. And the bottom line is you're taking a Microsoft certification exam. Some of the questions, some of the solutions that you see in the course here, even out in Microsoft documentation, may even differ from how you're implementing it in the environment you're working with right now, even though you're using SQL Server. Just remember, this is a Microsoft certification exam, so you're going to have to kind of play by their rules just a little bit here. So anyway, take your time, work through those objective lists, and trust me, you will do just fine on this exam. Thanks for being here. It's been a privilege to bring this information to you. Let me hear from you. I want to know how you did on that exam.